This is Star Wars Battlefront, the first one. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. There's been a bit of a resurgence for the Battlefront games as of recent. This was a game I did a video review on the Series X for many years ago, and there just wasn't really many players. Like, I was able to, I guess you would say, do a video, but I wasn't really able to fully show off the game, and now there's even a resurgence here with the original Battlefront. We got full lobbies going on, which is kind of exciting. I wasn't able to find anything in, like, DLC stuff, but, yeah, the regular game is kind of alive and kicking at the moment. I thought, hey, it might be fun to do a gameplay video diving in and enjoying some of the multiplayer for this one, as I'm not sure it's really something we could get player numbers for streaming wise, but I was like, oh, video during the day, diving in and enjoying some of the nostalgia of this experience, I guess I thought might be an enjoyable thing to do. So this game, obviously, like, the resolution on this is super low still. Like, it wasn't like basically it missed out on the whole Xbox One X enhancement that the second game got. So, like, the first game was 2015 or whatever, and then, yeah, it was kind of before the One X, and I mean, with the sequel getting One X enhanced, it's like, they weren't going to bother with this game. So, obviously, it's still its old, jaggedy, low resolution, but it did benefit from the FPS boost that was applied. You get this running at 120 FPS, which is, feeling very, very fluid today. It seems like, DICE is pretty good at that, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, DICE's engine, sorry, I guess I should say the Frostbite engine just lends itself really nicely to being FPS boosted, which is a pleasant surprise, because you get so many EA games that are FPS boosted, and that is kind of excellent. Like, it's so cool that so many of them are bumped up, especially since so many are, like, multiplayer oriented and stuff. But, like, yeah, this one was like a rough 720p, so, like, it's, it's super jaggedy. It's rough looking. It's not visually ideal, but it is what it is. It is what it is on that sort of a thing. But it's more like jumping in and just kind of taking a look at the game and just, like, having some fun in a multiplayer match. I thought would be cool, so we actually have, like, a full lobby kind of a thing. Because, yeah, I remember doing my review on this, I think back in, like, 21 or something like that. So it's been many years. And to the lobby had, like, a few people in it. It's been such a dead game for a while. I mean, it's like a decade, over a decade old, or coming on a decade old. Like, it's it's an age title and stuff like that, but it's still got some neat gameplay to it. It's got some neat styling to it. So yeah, let's talk about this one a bit too, I guess, outside of just playing it. So there were the original Battlefronts from when I was a kid, and those were quite excellent experiences. They were very good games. And I mean, for their time, of course, right? And then they were deciding, like, EA paid for the 10-year, billion-dollar whatever thing to get access to the Star Wars IP, and their big thing was bringing back Battlefront. Basically, it's Battlefield, but Star Wars is their take on this. But this game launched, and I wasn't really too blown away by it. Like, my review for it was, like, kind of a solid score, but it was really strange, because it was just multiplayer, and there wasn't a lot to it. If that makes sense. Like, there wasn't really a lot of content, and it's like very lopsided too. Like, this is the main mode, where it's sort of this progressional attack and defend kind of thing, which is actually, like, a very traditional Battlefield mode. But, like, I remember this launching and just being like, wow, there's really not much to this, and they added some really cool stuff. That's why I was kind of mentioning, like, the DLC. Like, Bespin is some of the best stuff this game had as far as maps, and then there was, like, a Death Star run, which was incredible, and I was really wanting to do footage of that because I thought that would be cool, but I couldn't find anybody. I found, like, one guy that was kind of sitting there in the matchmaking, but yeah, that was kind of it, sadly. So the DLC was cool. There's like Jabba's, and you know they did some solid stuff there. And little thing, and then you get these power-ups that do stuff. But anyways, yeah, it was kind of like really bare bones. From a technical standpoint, I thought this was quite amazing at the time. Like, aside from this looking incredibly blurry and insanely jagged around the edges, jagged around the edges. There we go. Like, this is still like kind of a really impressive game. Like Battlefront 2 obviously built off this technology and made it look even better. And you know, you're basically in cannon fodder to heroes in this game. There's always like there's a hero token you find on the map. There'd always be like the same person again and over and over again. But yeah, these battle things, like I was saying, are so that drove me crazy because they were so lopsided. Like very clearly designed for like one team to win and one team to lose, unless you got like insanely lucky in these runs. It was just like I think that, yeah, the devs even admitted as much back in the day. That was by design. Because, you know, it was trying to follow a little bit the movie setups and stuff for conflicts, and I always thought that was a bit weird, but no, like this was always it was a neat game. Like Heroes versus Villains was kind of the big thing for my pals and I. We played a lot of the Heroes versus Villains, which I loved the dynamics in this one because the characters were Heroes versus Villains. The characters were much better designed in this game, and you know, there was like some deathmatch stuff, and you know, there's a few different modes to this game. It had some neat stuff kind of fueling it. There was definitely some interesting things behind this, for sure. And like it was played quite a bit of. Like I played a decent amount of this game. It's just kind of interesting to be back taking a look at it because it does feel like a lot of the mechanics are like a little bit more basic compared to its sequel. Like the sequel expanded a lot of the ideas here. But you are definitely a lot less spongy in this one. Like, people die a lot easier, which is kind of preferred, almost. Like, yeah, kind of. Do we kill each other? Wow, that's weird. You know, it feels like you are cannon fodder to a degree in this one if you're playing as, like, these troopers and that, which is kind of funny. But, no, like, the environments they made, very well done, great sense of scale and stuff. I always thought this would look wonderful at a higher resolution. I should have really checked this out on PC at some point, just to see how good it can actually look from a visual standpoint. But yeah, it's just kind of neat being back at this, because as I said, the starting launch of it was just really like content, and there wasn't anything like local. There was like the survival kind of mode, but that wasn't really anything. Like, thankfully for Battlefront 2, they actually did like a bit of a story, which I appreciated. Just added a bit more value and some more local stuff, but yeah, this one was a bit weird. It was basically when I guess you would say gaming was really going all in on multiplayer. Like obviously the multiplayer stuff's been around for a long time, multiplayer gaming, but this is like when I thought of Battlefront from back in the day, this wasn't really what I had thought of the series, if that made sense. Like this is obviously the modern rendition of it, but yeah, it was an interesting change in choice to go in this direction with it. It's just neat to be back here playing this so many years on, because I didn't think we'd you know, ever come back to this. Really got smoked by the speeder bike. I was gonna say that constantly Luke Skywalker's just coming out here just tearing us apart. Unbelievable. I can't even. But no, like, the idea of it's kind of neat gameplay, right? Like, taking Battlefield style and, like, pushing it into this thing where the primary mode is, like, progressionally based. You're moving along, taking these units to places they need to go, and the matches are decently lengthy, and, you know, you get these reactive environments that you're going through that are, like, iconic Star Wars locations. I keep waiting for this guy to kind of get into, like, a spot where I can actually, like, blast him, and it just, like, there we go, I got him with the thermal thing, or the yeah, finally got him. But yeah, my big point of interest here was kind of just like coming back and doing some footage of this and talking about it again, because I was like, I don't foresee another point in the future where this thing's gonna be kicking off. Like, obviously, Battlefront 2 at the current point in time is getting the, you know, the excitement of it. Like, you know, people are mostly focused on that game, but I was like, usually when that happens, earlier entries in series get like a little bit of a, you know, focus as well, and that seems to be what's happening here, because there's actually like lobbies of this game. But yeah, it would be fun to stream some of this experience, but at the same time I'm just kind of having fun diving into it and battling here. I think we're gonna get this done pretty soon. If I'm not mistaken, it seems like our team has kind of got this going. Oh look, Bosca's over there. You know, Bosca's boss, right? Yeah, it's really weird, because like I think of this game in my mind as being a certain way. And then coming here and playing this is, you know, an entirely different kind of experience almost, because it's really neat to be like replaying something with a proper amount of players that you haven't done in probably since like what, Battlefront 2 came out at least, right? Like, because the full focus would have been coming to Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 didn't come out that much longer after this one. Nowadays, you know, these multiplayer games are designed to last like several years, they hope, right? And then this one was kind of right after that one. Oh, Luke Skywalker got him. Definitely got like a vibe and a style to it, doesn't it? Trying to get a little bit out of the way of the conflict, while still being in the conflict. All these battles coming on. I will say they nailed the authenticity. Like, I think DICE did a really good job with that. These Battlefront games, just like the sense of scale, the conflict. You know, designing all these Star Wars things. It was really cool. And then they were making, you know, some different locales that we got to visit and fight on. There's a magma planet was like pretty memorable, but obviously being here on like Endor and stuff. DICE always does really beautiful, you know, like jungle locations. That would be kind of an epic shot, I think. I don't know. That one looks kind of cool, right? I like that. Just throw it in the OneDrive. Why not? Anyways, yeah, no, it's really got like a neat vibe going on. And I hope you're enjoying this revisit as much as I am, kind of like coming in here and playing this and being like, oh yeah, it's playable. Because, you know, I do the... He's doing like the celebration thing. Those bubbles were so annoying in this game. Because it's like, I'm not sure we're going to be able to come back here and ever do something like this again, if that makes sense. Oh, we actually won. Nice. The rebel scum didn't escape our victory. And I went even. That's awesome. Alright, we got the second perspective here where we get to play as the rebel scum. It's time to have our turn in the spotlight here on Endor. Which is pretty cool, you know, it's neat that you get to see both sides of the conflict. I guess it helps it make feel like never-ending battles, but more variation to changing map to map, like, you know, after each lobby would probably be better for this, but it is what it is. A vehicle turret, oh yeah. They're like useless power-up things you'd collect and stuff. I want a hero token. Great density in this forest, but I will say Xbox definitely got shafted on the resolution. That Xbox One was like such a weak, underpowered console. Like, upon reflection, like, holy. What an absolute nightmare, right? Definitely did not have the oomph to do this stuff. Oh, an ETST. Absolutely lovely. But yeah, you know, it's different, like, kind of class stuff. You at least got to pick some different weapons. It's a solid game here. And with the DLC, it became more of a well-rounded package, but, like, yeah, I still definitely think the second game improved upon this one greatly in many different ways. It is interesting, though, because this game does have some different maps and setups that I think are kind of, like, better set, almost. And it's interesting some of the choices they made and, like, what kind of got pushed forward into Battlefront 2. and what kind of got completely left to the side of this, like, just left in this game. Doing like a teabag thing? That's kind of funny. Oh, let's see, like, is it nostalgic going back and playing this? I don't even know. I can't believe it's been, like, 10 years. Feels like thousands of games away. All these different multiplayer experiences that I've seen come and go since then. That's the neat thing about, like, random revivals from whatever reason that get people playing older stuff. Like, you don't really... Oh no, that's not good. You don't really see it coming, and then, you know, all of a sudden it's like you can play something and you haven't been able to play in forever because there's no one playing it. That's kind of a magical sort of thing. Because from my perspective, you never know when you're going to be able to cover some random old game because all of a sudden people are interested in it. Like, this one's been available readily for people for a long time, but because it's so multiplayer integrated, it's hard for people to really get captured by this one, in my opinion. Like, it's more difficult to kind of push people on this one. How do I get back up there? Oh, you're gonna yell at me about getting back to the Battlefront. Like, I'm trying to get to the Battlefront from, like, a flank maneuver. It's like, how do I get up from there, right? I'm, like, stuck here. Literally backtracking. Like, I thought I could, like, kind of go around and get back up, but... That's why you need a jetpack, I guess, right? Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Not much of a flank route, but a little bit of a flank route. There's Lord Vader. That's not cool, Vader. See, the enemies are actually, like, the heroes are actually, like, heroically powerful in this. Not that Vader is, like, a hero, he's, you know, obviously the villain and stuff, but... Yeah, the guy's definitely got some strength going on. Holy. Yeah, just need the passage of time, though. And then, like, what all of a sudden becomes, like, of interest to people, and you're able to play it and enjoy it and share it and stuff. And... You doing, like, a taunt thing? Oh, come on, Vader. No, it really is funny. It's like, you really never know. One day you're like, oh, I'm never gonna play this game, and the next, all of a sudden, you're being able to play it fine. There's lots of people. It's kind of funny. So, I mostly always say, if you do want to revisit games, when they're having their bit of a moment, make sure that you are and you're getting a new time, because you never know if that time will ever come again. You never know if people will want to come in again, and yeah, it's like a whole thing. But yeah, that's what I was saying, is it's like hard for people to get into this too, because if you were to grab and stuff, it's very likely you just wouldn't be able to run into anyone. And just doing, like, the offline stuff in this game is just not really great and worthwhile, personally. Like, I'm sure someday it'll be the only way I'm able to go and kind of experience it and stuff, but yeah, not really looking forward to that necessarily. But of course, you know, someday that will be the way that it has to be done. You'll just be like, eh, okay, here's what it is. But yeah, definitely a cool little surprise. I'd love to get a nice, you know, power-up thing. Power-up thing was such a weird choice. It was, I think they were, like, trying to emulate the originals, and there's a lot of interesting gameplay mechanics and choices in this one. Honestly, that, like, to this day, they surprised me quite a bit. Because, like, stuff overloads a lot more intensely, you do more damage, and yeah, it's definitely got some neat quirks and vibes to it. I will certainly give them that, and it's just neat to be able to revisit this and play some more of it, and we'll see if things are popular. Maybe I'll jump in and do some more matches, just for longevity, you know. Maybe somebody down the road wants to see what this game was like, and it's always good to have videos of a decent quality showing that off, and at least I think so. And the FPS boost on this is just lovely.